Hey, hey, Inspired Tribe, my fellow freedom lovers. It's John Nolan here. Thank you so much for tuning in. It is Monday, July 21st, 2025. Out of the Matrix into Prime Reality. This is the fourth turning, isn't it? It's great to see you all on X, Rumble, and YouTube. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you for being with us, your support, your love. It's a beautiful moment, friends, and I want to dive right into it. No long introductions here. I want to talk about four things really today. And the most important one is the fourth one. So we're going to get to that. But be rest assured, this is a message. If you feel called to be here right now, if you feel a strong sense of right moment, right time, this is for you, means something. Nothing is coincidental. Actually, we're finding out just how absolutely nothing is coincidental. Nothing that you do, have ever done, ever happened. So the first thing that I wanted to get into for a few weeks now and talk about it and put it into context is what we're witnessing, the departure of so many. Um, what does that mean? It means even though all the mainstream institutions are doing their best to hide it, to not talk about it, to alter the way they count statistics, or just shut up about it, we are seeing, I mean, all it takes really is for you to be here, to observe. You have family, you have friends, you see your social media feeds. There's one common theme is that many people are leaving right now, leaving Earth. That is the grand departure. There is not one singular thing that you can attribute to this and say this is why. On a human level, we know the why. On this physical level, there are factors and fundamental reasons for that. There is the big medical intervention of the last years, quote unquote medical. There are disasters, there are suicide rates. All of this contributes to, I think, the largest exodus that we have had in recent history, including all the wars. But then there's also the perspective that what is happening here right now simply wasn't going to be the right thing for many people that came here. So there's this people like Dolores Cannon have talked about this, and others who said, well, this is going to happen. I'll give you a personal anecdote. It was 2010, 11, 9, I don't know, around right about those years, between 9 and 11, where Kristin and I really dove deep into meditation and sort of opening ourselves up to greater levels of exploration, if you will. And one thing that came through clearly at that time was that we were going to experience times where we wake up and many people will just be gone. They will be gone from our experience, and we didn't understand what that meant. Like, it came through so often. It was like, yeah, there's going to be like, you just wake up one morning and a lot of people are not there anymore, and it's going to be almost like you have not much memory of them. So we didn't understand it quite at the time how this was going to happen. Of course, now we watch it happen. And the reason why I'm bringing this up is because many are struggling with this. They're not understanding it, and they're ultimately saying this is all wrong. This shouldn't happen. I don't know that this is true. I simply don't know. I agree that anything that is done to another to harm them or kill them is wrong. Like there's no two ways about it. But there are many circumstances where people have clearly made decisions and continue to make harmful and deadly decisions, and they do make those decisions themselves. Nobody else is making them for them. And to me, that almost points to like the soul or the or spirit really moving through and making those decisions. And we as bystanders, as observers, think it's wrong, but it's obviously what they're doing and what they're called to do, if you want to call it that. So there's this grand departure. And the reason why I bring it up in today's context is because when I get to the fourth point, which is you, and this is the most important one, we need to understand the 3 points that come before that. That's why this is the structure here. So the grand departure ultimately is something we have to get, and I hate to say it, we have to get very comfortable with over the next 5 years, until I see it until the end of the decade. Um, we're going to see more of it, faster of it, more, even more extreme than now. So this is a bad word, but we have to be okay with it. Comfortable is maybe too. We have to be okay with this. We also have to discern very clearly, where is it someone's sovereign decision and where is it harm being done, right? Where do we step in and protect children, protect the elderly, stuff like that. So it's going to take a lot of discernment, and we're going to get to the part how we do that. The second thing that we are observing and that can cause a lot of fear in people is the breaking down of systems. What you're seeing now, almost everywhere, there's a big there's a lot of show. Everything gets louder, the noise gets louder, and it seems to be that, oh, people within the system are getting a grip on things, and they're in control again. They're bringing it back to center, and that's just surface level stuff. It's not really true. Underneath it, it's crumbling. The trust is gone in those systems, and you can't undo that. The belief in the systems is gone. Even in the sort of the NPC style people, even they are like not really believing in it any longer. So the energy gets out of the systems, and those systems are breaking down. There's no two ways about that either. So we've seen nothing yet there too, but again, this is not something to be fearful about. This is actually a good thing. This is something that we've worked on, but not to destroy anything, but to simply take the energy out of that which is harmful and destroying us. So this is continued going to happen, and they're going to put band-aids on stuff. And for a little while in between, it's going to look like things are going to get better. I don't know, interest rates are going to come down, and it seems like prices will go down. And that's going to be those short-term signals. But it won't change the fact that these old systems are crumbling, and they won't work any longer. Like there's going to be, it's like a cog in it, and a cog in the wheel. It's just not going to work anymore. No matter how much you push, no matter how much you try. So that's over the next 5 years, we'll see that in acceleration. Again, please don't be fearful. There's a clear upside to this. Everything is leading to a very positive upside. And then there is this thing called truth rising, right? And this is what causes a lot of this turmoil, is that whether people can articulate it or not is one thing. A lot of people can't articulate it. Like they can't really find the right words to describe what they're feeling. But what they're feeling is that, oh my God, nothing is the way that I believed it was. It doesn't matter as much if they talk about it. What matters is that this is happening inside of them. So they can clearly begin to see, oh wow, this is completely different than I thought it was. So truth is sort of like it's like coming out of the earth, and it's rising, and there's nothing really anymore that they can do against that, right? So yes, cornered animal syndrome, they're still going to kick and push and scream, but it's just so uncomfortable because everything is in uncertainty. That's what makes it uncomfortable. all of this is in great uncertainty, right? So the world I mean, many of us experienced a time in this world that even though there were wars and even though there were economic crises, there was a sense of the pendulum is going to swing back and things are going to get back to normal. They're going to get back to a more centered way. And of course, the folks, the kids that come up now never had that. It's been like this for the last 5, 10 years. But those that can remember a certain sense of stability in the world, that is very uncomfortable when that sense of stability is gone. And that sense is gone because the identification of so many people with this system, with being a part of it, with believing in it, that's being eroded every day. All those are positive things, but they don't feel like positive things because the chaos is everywhere. You can see that people are um, aggression is one thing, sadness is another, depression is another. That's what's happening in people a lot. It's like they're itching. It's like they're itching to get out of their skins. They don't feel comfortable in their skins any longer. Like nothing fits anymore. And naturally, just like any individual growth, think about it. When you go through growth periods in your life, when you expand, like it's not all unicorns and rainbows. Some days feel awful. It's like you want to jump out of your skin. You just can't tolerate it. And then you grow beyond it. Then you sort of come out of the cocoon and you become that caterpillar and butterfly, the butterfly. And this is what is happening collectively too. Lots of growing pains and growing pains to come. So here's where we get to the fourth point, which is you, and which is a specific message for a number of people that came here for a very specific reason. And I want to say right away, this doesn't mean that others are worth less or they're not important or nothing like that. It's just people come for different reasons. The vast majority of people that came here to Earth came through the karmic cycle. So they came through whatever they had going for lifetimes and whatever more needed to be, worked off the karma, and I view karma as an operating system that you can or cannot agree to and that you can outgrow. I don't think karma, the way that we're seeing it here, is a natural creator based system. I think it's a hijacked system, and it's sort of the system that keeps people in loops of suffering. But then there are those who came here with little to no karma because they've just exited that cycle, or they came from entirely different places. What does that mean? Well, you just didn't have an earth-based life before, or maybe just very few. And so for those, this is a very interesting time because most people that are like that, it feels like they could never fully adjust to Earth systems and understand them fully and get on board with them. It's like those are the kids that even as children, the people that even as children they feel like it's also strange. Like when adults explain to them why things are the way they are and how it all works, and it's like they go, "No, this doesn't make any sense. Why would we do that?" It's like they can see the complete insanity in it, and they never lose that. But life is very difficult because they still have to function within those parameters on Earth. Um, I don't want to label those people. Others give them labels and sort of the chosen ones or anything like that. No, we don't. I don't want to do that because that's not how it is. It's just folks that came and knew they were going to come to do something very specific, and they had to sort of planned out how they were going to do it. They knew they were going to forget about it, but their soul level memory is very intense, so they can remember things on a soul level. And if that's you, you know what I'm talking about. You can remember things on a spirit level, and slowly but surely you inform your whole being of why you're actually here. And while those folks have been more and more activated, I see this second part of this decade as absolutely an explosion of activation. So we will see people exponentially living up to their true purpose in a way that it we can't even describe it yet, how impactful that's going to be. So that simply means that if this is you, you're giving yourself permission to like go there fully. um, Disregard any and all judgments from others or yourself, disregard expectations from society, disregard all that crap, and just be you fully to the fullest extent of what's possible. So that's going to, on the one hand, alienate even the last people from your old life that sort of already thought you're crazy. That's going to completely alienate them, and you have to be fine with that if that's what you want to do. But it's also going to pull and attract people like you into your experience and being connected with you. That's going to exponentially explode now in the next years, like, because we're in such an accelerated phase. Um and I don't know how else to put it, but if you don't give yourself permission to fully activate who you really are, then you will get you will get eaten up and chewed up by what's happening, and and spit out again by what's happening here right now in this world. This world is going batshit, right? And it's reaching its peak momentum of insanity, and it's realizing that it's reaching its peak momentum. So if you're not centered, not balanced, in the knowing of who you actually are, that's going to push you and pull you every single day. So what is important for people like you, if you feel this is speaking to you? Like we said so many times, you need to give yourself permission to live your absolute best life, because only when you are at your very best, at your brightest, greatest, most wonderful, you will feel like you have fully activated your purpose. Otherwise, you'll always feel like, I don't know, something's off. But that is first and foremost allowing yourself to do that. Believe it or not, you have to look into the mirror and give yourself permission to outgrow any and all bullshit that you believed before. Not playing small any longer, not pretending to fit in any longer. All that can't matter. All that can't be important any longer. And that doesn't mean you're all of a sudden a savior or the Lord or whatever. You're just living up to what you came here to do. That's all. And what that is, I don't know, because I don't know what you specifically had planned and how you felt before you came here. You could be of service the best. I don't know that, but I trust you. Like, I trust that you had it figured out and you have it figured out. For some people, that is radical action, and for others, not. Right? So it's not that everybody is just going out there and just action, action, action. No, for some, it's literally just being in the fullness of who they are, where they are. So there's no one size fits all solution. This is also something that you need to pay attention to, this discernment. Just because something is right for me and it works wonderfully for me and is my path doesn't mean it's yours. We work together by each living up to it, but we don't copy or have the need to be like each other, if that makes sense. The being like each other is just the authenticity part. That's how we're alike. We're alike in living truth on all levels to the best of our abilities and to being authentic, but we don't have to do the same thing. As a matter of fact, that's the beauty of it. That's why we're not all in the same place. People say, well, I wish we could all live close to each other and we could all, and I get that because it would feel more comfortable to us, but we wouldn't be of service as much if that were the case. We need to be all over the place and we need to live up to it. And now is like, whatever is still holding you back, it is minuscule compared to what you are. However big you think that obstacle is, it is nothing compared to what you are. It's tiny. But you maybe don't have the right sight yet. So it's kind of like you're walking this path and all of a sudden it seems like there's this huge rock in front of you, but it only seems huge to you. Somebody else could walk by and pick it up and say, "Oh, this little thing?" It's because you don't have the right sight yet. So you need to adopt the right sight and get back into your true sight. That is spirit sight, not eyesight of the physical world. It's spirit side. You need to see with your spiritual eyes. And boy, is it activation time in a beautiful way. So here's how crazy this I believe is going to go. Many people in the hundreds of thousands, potentially in the millions, will activate themselves in a way so that their lives will begin to change dramatically in a good way. That seems to be the contradiction. Your life and the life of many others will begin, if you choose it, it's all you, by the way. If you choose it, will begin to just go boom, 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 and beautiful things will appear. The right people will appear, the circumstances, the means, everything. It will just begin to appear, and you will continue to walk into the appearance of those things. You'll just meet up with them. You'll meet up with them. And the world at large will still go into the chaos direction. You'll have this great contrast that you can observe but don't have to engage in. And I have to repeat this. I'm called to repeat this because many people will struggle with this. Friends, former friends, family, acquaintances, people will have great problems. It's their choice to have those problems. They could have they still can make different choices, but if they don't want to, they don't want to. You going there and suffering with them, that is the only thing. That's the only thing that the darkness, the looming darkness wants. You having enough compassion to honor that person's journey, that suffering, and say that's their journey. They know I'm here if they're ready to help. But to honor their sovereignty in that, that's so important. That's their choice. You have to honor their sovereignty, but you have to really focus on your journey and who you are right now and how you are showing up for you and then for whatever purpose you chose. And that's really, really coming through strongly in many people's lives. There's a shift going through. It's like almost, and I know we're on a wrong calendar and I know we're counting it wrong. But it doesn't seem to matter. We're at this half of the decade point, and that seems to have an impact for whatever reason. So the contrast is going to be, if you say yes to this, if you begin acting like it and being like it, your life might turn out incredibly amazing, and you just might have the wonderful experiences, and then things are going to go to shit around you, like places, folks, systems. That is going to be a great challenge for many of us. Trust me, it is already a challenge. It's going to be a greater challenge, but this is what we need to practice. If we cannot sustain our, sort of frequency and even rise it through what the world is playing out, we'll just get sucked into it. And when we do, no one is helped. No one is helped. It doesn't mean to ignore pain or ignore suffering, but it's to say, hey, if you want to jump on board, there's already many of us here. Come on. But if you don't, I honor the sovereignty of your decision and I keep walking. Think about this. You honor the sovereignty of another being and their decision, and you keep walking. That also means you're honoring your own sovereignty over your own choices, and you say yes to that. And this is going to be the theme of the next years: is you have to be very clear on what you say yes to, and even clearer on what you say no to. There's no more splitting hair here. It's very clear. We all have to do that. And that might be painful, might cause some grief, might cause some suffering for a little bit. But the expansion of energy and potential is enormous when you do that. So, in other words, I don't do the whole starseed light worker crap, like, oh, we're the chosen ones. You'll never hear me say that stuff. And for the reason that ultimately we all play in this grand scheme of things. We're all connected, and that is never forgotten. So think about this. This is for you to walk with, contemplate. You can say, "Oh, this guy's crazy. He's a nut job. I don't know what you're talking about." That's cool, but there's a number of you who completely feel this, and you already knew this. You probably just needed to hear it out of someone else's mouth. So here it is. Here it was. Transmission. The transmission pretty much ends here. It was all said. All I'm saying is, I love you. And we've known this time would come. Man, that where we came from, it seemed like it's going to be like in a blink of an eye. And then once we got here, oh yeah, this has taken a little bit, and the making of it was quite painful, the ups, the downs, but now it's here. Like, this is that time. It's not coming. It's not 10 years from now. It's not 15 years. It's here now. And I think we should embrace it, celebrate that it's here, and do the very best to help walk each other home, friends. As Ram Dass said it, we're all here to walk each other home. It's kind of what we're doing, but we're doing it on a beautiful, bless you, my love. But we're doing it on a beautiful and expansive level. All right, my friends, thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you for being here with us. I have one more thing to share with you, and this is just a reminder if you haven't yet. What we have done over the last years is we have optimized our support system. So, and this is probably going to take another couple of minutes. So once again, I'm interrupting myself. A few years ago, we realized that we were sort of in a high functioning environment. So we were doing a lot of things at the same time. And one of the things that I noticed about myself is I didn't give my the body's needs and what it needs to to be nurtured and to replenish and to regenerate the cells. I didn't give that enough attention. Thankfully, my wife did. Kristin did. And so over the last years, we've really optimized that. Like, how can we optimize our experience so we can be up the optimal? And so I just want to invite you, because it's one of the most wonderful things, and we just had a conversation about it an hour ago, is if you haven't yet, give FLFE a trial. Focused Life Force Energy. It's a 24/7 high consciousness field that will be maintained around you and your property, where you are. And that is a wonderful support system created by people that feel exactly like you and I about what this is and what we're doing here. And I think that's why they created it. So if you haven't yet, highconsciousnessfield.com, go check it out. You don't need a credit card. It's just a free 15-day trial. It's a gift, no subscriptions or anything. But this is the kind of support system that allows us to function like every day and keep going. And if we need healing, it works faster. If we need forgiveness, it works faster. It's just a gift that keeps on giving. So highconsciousnessfield.com, just an invitation, my friends. All right. We love you. We appreciate you. And we will be back with you again very, very soon. Your environment shapes everything, your thoughts, your health, your energy. But most people never question the invisible field they live in. We did, and that's when FLFE found us. It's not a product, it's a field of pure life force energy that lifts everything it touches. We now live in it 24/7, and we would love to invite you to experience it too. Start your free 15-day trial now. No pressure, no strings attached. Just the truth, resonance, and peace.